everyone, this is Latasha Blanton from the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. And you're going to have the opportunity to travel with Phil Scott to
sunny South Africa. You guys are going to have the opportunity to come to Johannesburg, and you guys are going to be coming to Durban. And we're going to set it up perfectly. It's going to be like a luxury experience for you guys. At the same time, you're going to be getting some culture. And of course, you're going to get an opportunity to talk to Phil, hang out with Phil, and get his views on Africa and South Africa.
You're also going to get an opportunity to explore the lifestyles here that are available in South Africa. And we're going to do all that for you in an amazing 10 days. We do hope that you go to the website and book, because we do look forward to seeing you here.
Absolutely. Our website is therealsouthafrica.com. Go there, scroll down. You'll see a picture of Phil, and just go ahead and book there. So we'll see you here in what we like to call sunny South Africa.
There's a brother by the name of Jamal D Green in Chicago, and he has a lot to say about what's going on regarding the migrants. Check it out.
Taking all the resources out of your neighborhood and putting it up in other people's neighborhoods. They building a whole new neighborhood in the Lincoln Yards in the 78 with tax dollars that you paid. In your community, you walking past boarded up buildings and boarded up and vacant lots and boarded up schools. And you ain't getting out a dime. But the migrants got $1 billion. $1 billion damn dollars. Just in 1 year. And you ain't never seen 2 million walk past your house. I want you to understand that. And yet, white people stormed the Capitol because they lost an election. And you drinking from lead pipes, because we got all the black people in Chicago got lead pipes in their house. We got the most lead pipes in the country. Look it up. Y'all all drinking lead pipes. We're going to be Flint one day if we don't change them. Y'all don't have a grocery store near y'all. Hell, you can't even afford produce because you ain't even got good jobs next to you. They took trade out of the schools, so the kids can't learn a trade. The kids can't be an entrepreneur. So they go to the streets and they doing their own entrepreneurial activities, and they stealing cars, and they going to jail over and over again. They miseducating these kids and not giving them no pathway to real productivity.
So as you heard him say, like many other people are saying, right? Chicago has an issue in regards to the migrants and the neglect of the black residents. Now, I should also say that Brotha Ja'Mal did run up against that of Mayor Brandon Johnson. Of course, he did not win, but I went to his page on TikTok, and the brother's talking some good things. And so off the top of my head, and I'll get back to that in just a minute, I want to know what did the residents of Chicago see in Mayor Brandon Johnson over that of Jamal Green. But anyway, let's get back to what this brother was saying. Now, I took good notes, and I noted that he said that in Chicago, they have the most lead pipes in the country. He says, if you don't believe me, look it up. So guess what I did? I looked it up, and he's telling the truth. Not that I thought he was lying, but I was like, that's interesting. Let me look it up. So I did, and he's telling the truth. Chicago has the most lead pipes, and of course, you know that predominantly affects black people. And he says in no time, we are going to become the next Flint. Of course, you guys know in Flint, Michigan, where the water was tainted with not only lead pipes, but nasty water that was diverted from a clean source to that of a nasty source. And it adversely affected the residents there, predominantly black, right? And it sounds like they are still dealing with that. Now, he also said that Chicago does not have a black grocery store, does not have a trade program, so that the children can learn a trade instead of going to the streets to do things that are not right, like commit crimes, right? And a whole host of other things. And so that brother's absolutely right. Mayor Brandon Johnson has got to go. He cares more for everybody else than he does the black residents. Now, I know somebody saying, well, he's just not the mayor of just black people now, because that's what Kamala said about reparations, right? But in that same vein, he is the mayor of black people too. So you can't just do for everybody else and negate black people, the group of people who helped get you in office, right? So Mayor Brandon Johnson needs to go. But again, let me get back to the residents of Chicago who voted for Mayor Brandon Johnson over that of Jamal Green. Why? What made y'all do that? Was it because maybe Brandon Johnson had more money? He was able to put out more signs and he was walking tall and talking tough about the things that he would do for you as a black Chicagoan? Because as it stands now, he hasn't done anything for you, but he has done things to you via allowing migrants to go into Chicago and getting all the resources. So what was more attractive about him as a candidate than that of Jamal? You know what I mean? And so that's the problem that I have. Now, I know there was another guy, Paul Vallas, who was, more or less like the contender to that of Mayor Brandon Johnson, but y'all selected Brandon Johnson over, Mr. Green, and I'm perplexed by that. And that's the other problem. We got to stop allowing people with these big giant war chests and all these signs, like it's the name, type. We got to stop allowing that to influence us to vote for them. Let's really get in the trenches. Let's really look at them as a candidate and the track record, not only what they talking about, right? Because they also got to do it once they get in office, but just like how do they move in general? Now, if, Jamal Green was talking like that while he was on the campaign trail, I'm confused, y'all. Now, I will say this to the credit of black Chicagoans, y'all are waking up. Y'all waking up, and that's a marvelous thing. But I want to say not just to those in Chicago, but black people all over the United States. Let's stop making those mistakes. Let's stop voting for money, big, shiny, glossy campaigns and, people who are sounding good. Let's stop voting for them. Let's vote for maybe the guy who doesn't have a lot of money, but who is saying the right things. He's moving in the right direction. Let's start at least looking seriously at them, right? I know there was a guy, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I surely know that in New York City, he was representing the rent is too damn high party. The guy had white mutton chops and the gloves and all that. Now, I was like, well, if I lived in New York at the time when he was running, I would have voted for him, because the rent is too damn high, not just in New York City, but everywhere, right? Now, I know those candidates, they sound kind of tongue-in-cheek and funny, but let's really start looking at those people's campaigns because they are more boots on the ground than a Mayor Brandon Johnson, who I believe he was like the CEO of the public school system there in Chicago. So it's probably not necessarily boots on the ground the way maybe he was back in the day. But somebody like Jamal Green is. He sees what's going on the streets of Chicago and talks to people, and he's a resident there. So he's got his finger more on the heartbeat than somebody like a Mayor Brandon Johnson. So if for whatever reason, and I think there's good reasons, that Mayor Brandon Johnson is recalled, and this brother runs, look at his campaign. At the very least, just look at it and see what he's talking about. So anyway, if y'all don't mind, if y'all can go over to our app, africandiasporanews.org, invest in that app that we have built for you. I would love and appreciate you for that. And in the meantime, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube.